Okay, Richard, now we've made it in here. I'd like to get your opinion on everything. Did you get your seat adjusted and all those goodies?
Yeah, we do fine with this. First thing I notice is very different in the controls, but simple enough. This is not like Tesla, but it's like a lot of other cars, so it's no problem. Kind of odd with your windshield wipers down on the console, but nevertheless.
Yeah, I think we have defroster here.
Yep, and windshield wipers.
And then back, and the windshield wipers are on the
right stock.
I think right here, yeah.
Yep.
On the right side
there.
Yeah,
it says so.
The gear shift is this thing here.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Apparently, my guess is I have to put it in.
Put your foot on the brake, and I think you pull it for drive and push it for reverse.
Okay. Different, but easily gotten used to.
Right.
It changed just a little more.
Now, you can adjust the steering wheel up and down, but it's manual. It's up underneath there.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's not perfect, but it's fine.
Okay. Well, your puppy's sure barking today.
Oh, that's his thing. Seems like it takes a lot of turns on this steering wheel.
I have it set up for one pedal driving.
Sure, it's not a '39 Chevrolet truck. As many turns you have to make. Can you put it in sport mode and tighten up the steering a little bit? Or?
Oh, that's a good question. So you go to the car here, right? Here's for driving. Steering wheel, I can do firm, standard, or light. Firm maybe is more edge to edge. You'd have to do it. Sport mode is here.
Yep.
Okay. One pedal driving is here, and I've got creep turned off.
Yeah, I see that you do.
If you want to modify it. Now, there's some other stuff here. Adaptive cruise.
Lane keeping aid, read sign information, collision avoidance, okay.
All right, and then charge screen is here. Shows you your percentage on charge, and then this is for when you're plugged into AC charging, and then of course you can schedule it if you need to. And then last but not least is this, just car status. I don't know what it tells us.
Locking mirrors, all that.
All is good. Well, that's good. And then mirrors, wipers, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So if you go to drive, that kind of gives you more of what's going on.
I don't think it'd take you too long to learn that then. It's fairly intuitive.
How about the binnacle there? Is that good information for you?
I don't need any of that except and no electric car that so far has had that. I like the speedometer up there.
Yeah.
So I don't have to double check, but other than that, that's the only piece of information I need on that.
Okay.
But I'm glad to have a speedometer there also.
Sure.
Well, actually, it's the only speedometer on this one.
Right. This has decent ground clearance. I would bet it's very much like maybe the Model Y or your Subaru, or your wife's Subaru, I should say.
Well, I'll tell you what I think immediately. Anybody that would go out and buy a Buick would like this car.
Think so?
Yes.
And why do you say that?
More turns on the steering wheel. Kind of softer. A lot of things are about the car. So, I'm not knocking anything. I'm saying every car you drive is a little bit different. Reminds you of something else. So, is this regenerative?
Yes, one pedal will give you some regeneration there.
All right, works pretty good.
After you get all done, I'll share what my observations are as well.
Well, my observation is it's fine for somebody 6 foot. As you actually had to, people didn't get to see it, but you had to duck your head and hold your head out of the way and had a hard time getting in. Not so with a Tesla.
My Model 3 is tight, but not this tight.
Well, and once you get in, Tesla's got a lot more room.
Yeah.
It's a little tight in here with this stuff. That's fine for me. But remember, it's an electric drive car, so it doesn't have to have anything there.
Right.
So I'm not sure why they want to take up all room. It looks nice.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was going to get the Sawzall out and modify it, but it's not my car, so.
Well, actually, it's nice, but it does take up a lot of room. It looks good in here. There's no problem. Nice finish inside. Now the regenerative works fine.
Yep. Because that's non-sport mode. Let me turn sport mode on now.
That's okay. I just want to see which typical of. Is this all-wheel drive also? Two motors?
It is. There's 2 motors,
Okay.
about 200 horsepower each.
Well, it shows it. It's got nice acceleration. It's kind of like a Mustang. The Mustang's not as quick as the Tesla, but it's still, if you're not buying the hot rod, the Mustang, it's still the fastest Ford probably they make. And this one's quick. Not everybody needs a drag car anyway, but it's very quick. If you pull out by mistake in front of somebody, you could cover yourself a little bit. Steering's soft feeling.
Is it soft?
Yeah, but it goes exactly where you put it.
Yeah, it's on, currently the setting is standard.
Well, it reminds me a little bit back in, I'm showing my age, when the 60s and 70s, when Chrysler car had, you could one finger steer.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that bad. It's okay. I think an awful lot of people like this steering.
In the old days, they had what's called a necking knob, remember? The
Yep.
little knob that's on the steering wheel.
Well, I don't know. Is that what they call it in California?
Well, that's what they called it in California. That way your girl can snuggle up next to you and you can drive the car with one hand on the necking knob, see?
Well, you don't have to worry about your girl snuggling up to you in this car.
No, I don't think you can get over that, this thing.
Well, you might can, but it'd be true love.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good looking car.
Yeah, how's it driving you?
It's
Happy
well
with
finished
it?
inside.
What are you thinking?
Well, like I say, I think it'll appeal to people who would buy Buicks. A lot of older people like it. It's soft steering, it's soft riding, and it's a nice car to drive, actually.
What do you think of the suspension so far?
So far, it's pretty good.
I think these have some kind of, I think they're Continental, kind of like the Pilot Sport tires on it.
Does it?
Yeah, so I think the rubber's good on it. It's not just cheapo rubber.
Oh, too bad you don't have it for a while. We'll autocross it, Dave.
Well, you know, we've got it until early Saturday morning. So the problem is I have got some cones, but I'm pretty sure we're going to need a parking lot to drive it around. What do you think it would do in autocross?
Actually, it might be surprising because it is electric and has pretty good oomph to it. Like I say, the steering's not what you'd want in autocross. It's what you would like if you were an older person driving it. I really do. I think it drives a lot like a Buick, and there's a lot of reasons a lot of people buy Buicks. This is probably my fault because I keep the Tesla in sports all the time, but if you run the Tesla in sport all the time, it's a little bit hard to maintain a speed limit, meaning that in sport it regenerates quicker, comes on quicker, and it accelerates quicker. So in effect, unless you're careful, it makes it harder to maintain a nice, let's say 45 or whatever speed limit you're trying to maintain. And this maintains it well. It's how do I put it? It's non-instant. It's linear, but it builds up kind of slower. Now the Tesla in non-sport mode does the same thing, and because I'm a nut, I keep it in sports mode, I guess.
How about the accelerator pedal response? What's your opinion on that? This is non-sport mode on the Accelerator.
Well, because it is quicker than a lot of the average. I got it, Dave.
Okay.
Because it's quicker than a lot of the average ICE cars, it still has it if you need it. But you can be very gentle on the pedal and barely move. It's very linear, and it drives nice. Doesn't wander. It's fairly quiet. Like all EVs, you hear the tires.
Yeah, because there's no other noise.
Yeah, but of course most of them are much quieter than the average car because of that, because of the motor and transmission noise. So then you start noticing the tire noise, and you wouldn't have even paid any attention with a normal gas car.
No, I think there'd be enough extra noise to mask it.
We humans always have to find something that we can complain about.
Oh, sure.
I think a lot of people are going to like this car, Dave. It's electric, but it hits a lot of the right buttons. It's a lot of things about it are close to what you're used to.
Do you like the screen? I know you haven't played with it much, but...
No, I haven't played with it much. I do like my speedometer up here.
You're right.
And because of that, I don't really need that screen once I'm driving.
Sure.
That I do like.
Can you remember driving the Mach-E? It's been about a year.
Yep.
Can you tell if it's similar or better or worse in anything here?
Well, the Mach-E had a little harder suspension. It rode like a Ford. That's not knocking it. It's a very solid feeling car. It just this one's, you're not quite as connected to it, I guess I'm saying. This is more, like I said, more like a Buick. It's a very nice driving car. I think it'll appeal to a lot of people, middle-aged people in particular, because it's a nice, solid, it's a very pleasant driving car out through here. No problem whatsoever, no surprises.
And just so everybody knows, these are the roads we're on. We're on 2-lane roads, twisty, turny through the mountains of North Carolina. And that's what Richard's been driving here. Yeah.
It's also late in the afternoon and the sun's coming out of the west.
Yeah, right in our eyeballs.
I wouldn't be ashamed at all to have this car in the family. I actually like it better than the Mustang Mach-E. Maybe we can talk Tesla into putting a speedometer up here.
Well, you know what? We'll have to get ourselves a Model S Plaid. They have the binnacle with their speedometer right there. Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth. That's the only thing. They have other things up here, but it's the only thing I've paid any attention to.
Yeah.
Is speed limit.
Well, see, now we're continue to be in sport mode, so maybe
you big hot rod are you?
Yeah, you know, us autocrossers, we can't get enough speed.
Well, on this road in the traffic, I can't get on it either. So.
Well, we'll have it. Let's see. Today is Thursday. We got it all day tomorrow. So if you think of something we can test it on, I'd really like to find a parking lot and do a autocrossy thing on it. Just check suspension, body roll, and that stuff.
As far as for driving it, Dave, I actually like it better than Mach-E.
Yeah.
It's not quite as. It doesn't feel as quite an autocross vehicle. Really solid feeling suspension, but the suspension's nice on this car. It's a nice and smooth riding car.
Oh, I heard that. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It's like traction control or something.
Yeah, it started to spin, picked it up right back up.
You think that was spinning?
Yeah,
oh,
starting
okay.
to. It picked it right back up, fell through there and moved a little bit, and then just traction control came in, cover your butt. I wouldn't be ashamed to have a car like this car in the garage. They used to call this type of car a mid sedan.
Yeah.
And it's very good in that range.
I think it has some lineage in Volvo.
Yep.
With the Chinese company Geely that bought Volvo. I think they spun it off into a new company called Polestar, Polestar. And I think the whole reason is they probably felt, this is my opinion of course, that trying to sell an electric car through the Volvo dealers was just not going to happen due to the resistance to the people that sell fossil fuel cars selling electric. And they just started their own new car company, and that's what this is.
Well, a couple of comments I'd make about it, and one, it's not suitable for tall people. Because I know you're 6'4", 6'5", or something, and you had a fit getting your body into this car. Once you got in it, you're okay, but much easier getting in a Tesla. But I think it's a first-class kind of medium sedan. But the other thing, comment about it, this is an electric car, so you don't need any of this stuff. So it's up to the manufacturer to be able to have however they wish. This is a nice looking center console. It kind of makes you feel like you're in maybe that's the point, in a fighter or something, because you're kind of hemmed in. But it's a comfortable seat, and they could do whatever they want to with this. The controls are fine, very intuitive as a matter of fact. So I like this car actually. It's a pretty nice car. I think it'll appeal to soccer moms, medium-aged people, and older people all. So it won't appeal to to a young kid that wants to be a hot rod, but it'll be like some of the nicer Toyota vehicles are. But it's electric, and especially if you're not going on trips, it'd be a great car.
Yeah, I would imagine if you had a commute and you were needed a car to save some money, get an electric car like this, be good. Now, I don't know the cost of it. Being a rental, I couldn't even tell you. I think I'll have to look it up, but I bet you this car is somewhere between, say, 45 and 65, I would guess. This is an all-wheel drive version. They have a rear-wheel drive version, I think, and they have different battery sizes. So you could probably get this same exact car at a lower cost and still save yourself some money if this type of car is what you're looking for.
Well, what comment I'd make about that? Now, we live in the mountains of western North Carolina, and so one of the best cars to have around here is all-wheel drive at times. Not all the time, obviously, but in the wintertime we do get some snows, and they're wet snows, so they're very slick snows. And so the all-wheel drive is really handy in this part of the country, but the two-wheel drive would be perfectly fine, I would suspect, although it'd be a little slower in flatter country.
Yeah, I tend to agree. An all-wheel drive car is really, in my opinion, here a better deal. You get into warmer climates where there's not a lot of ice and snow and that kind of stuff. I think you could probably get away with rear-wheel drive.
Well, when people ask me about Teslas, and several people have, I tell them two things, and it's important to get the biggest batteries they can get in the car, and in this part of the country get the two motors, all-wheel drive, and anything else you can add on later on, at least in a Tesla. I don't know about this vehicle, but in a Tesla you pick up your phone, and if you got the cash, all you have to do is say, "I'll take it," and they put it in there. By the next day it's in your car, whether it's self-driving or whatever it is. I'm not sure about this company. I would be surprised if it wasn't similar.
Yeah, so, I don't know about that, but you're right. If they had it, that would just add to it.
Well, you have to get the things you cannot add with your phone or with your computers. So those are the two things you do want to get. And I'm knocking the console. I think it looks really nice. They could have, all the electric cars could have left them out, but
yeah,
they're kind of nice looking. This one kind of puts you in a cocoon.
My opinion of the console is being 6'6", it's way too big for me.
I would have felt that away.
I just don't have enough room for my legs. It's like flying in coach, and it's uncomfortable. I don't have a whole lot of room between the steering wheel and the console for my knee, so I guess either I need to get the Sawzall and modify it, or or something. But that's my one gripe here physically.
Are you all the way back on the seat now?
I think I am.
Well, your knees are actually on the dash.
I know. See, look, I'm in coach here now. Let me see if I can go back a little further. Nope, that's it. So there's just no room here. I have a kind of long torso, and my femur bone, that's this bone here, is pretty long. So anyway, I find this car to be restrictive, I guess is the proper term.
Well, I'm in 6 foot range, and I used to be before I was got a little older, and it's perfectly fine for us people. But I would not recommend it for somebody taller, much taller than 6 foot.
Yeah, when I get in, I did yesterday's video, and while you get in like a girl, and I mentioned that yesterday, and that's simply because in the old days, girls would get into the car and they'd wear a skirt, and to get in the right way, you get in with your fanny first and then swing your legs around. Well, that's the way I have to get into the Model 3. While once I'm through the door opening, however, it's huge inside the Model 3, for me being 6'6". The hardest part, just that door entry. The Model Y, of course, is easy. It's pie. You just stick one leg in and sit down. But the Model 3 is a little tighter. This one, though, is even smaller than the Model 3. So for me, man, it's a tight one.
Well, it's a nice car. I might say if you're not really tall, 6 foot plus, if you like a nice mid-sized Toyota, you'd love this car. But it's a little quicker. It's responsive and it's a little quieter. So I think you would like this car a lot.
Well, that's a good recommendation. I would agree with you in the respect that there's a lot of good things in this car. I did some road testing yesterday. Some of the systems need some software work, but the suspension, I'll agree with you, is nice. It drives nice. It's very crowded in the cabin. It's like flying in coach. But if you ignore that or you're small enough, you can get over that, you're good. The UI for especially the navigation is, I give it an A+. It's Google. It works excellent, just like my phone. And the best part about it is it calculates charging stops for you. And it's so easy to use compared to, say, the Mach-E, which is on the other end of the scale, very difficult.
Well, let me throw something in if I may. That was my kick against the Mach-E. It was about 2 generations behind on its screen. And I made the statement, Ford's a big company and they'll fix that, and they have lots of engineers, but they haven't. I don't understand why. They've got the engineers, but they have not fixed brought it up to date. That's a shame.
Yeah, I agree totally. Being a cross-country guy like myself, I rely on a good navigation, especially to find charging. And
amen on the charging.
Well, it's no different if you were driving a gas or diesel. There was a time, believe it or not, that if you were driving places and needed car diesel, you remember that?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel, you could hardly find car diesel. And the nozzles for trucks were too big and you couldn't, it was just a mess. Well, they finally solved that problem.
Well, how about the Mojave Desert with gas?
Yep, that too. So you get over these problems, and then, of course, everybody forgets that they had those problems. But with an electric car, you need energy, and this energy is in the form of chargers. And it's incumbent on the navigation in a car to find you energy to go down the road, and they do a very good job here. There are some software bugs that I found here in the UI, but I think that's easy to fix. Once you can duplicate a problem in software, you can fix it in 5 minutes. And the ones that I've seen are very duplicatable. So I think if they haven't already, and we don't have the latest software, that's a couple things I think could be easily improved. The location is fine. The responsiveness of the user interface is really good. It's not a laggy piece of junk. So again, they've scored high for me on that. So all in all, this car is pretty nice. I don't agree, and you may have not known this, but it took 53 minutes to go between 19% and 90% on charging. And that falls under the category of ridiculous. So they need to improve their charging curve a lot. It's just, in a DC fast charging environment, they should make the charging much faster. But that may be something they can improve with software or future batteries or something.
I got a question, Dave.
Yes?
It's getting almost dark. Are the lights automatic on this car?
They should be, and I think they're on. If you look at that little icon, that greenie up there,
Yep.
I think that's what that means. I hope he's on a lead.
Yeah, he is. I don't want to run over the man's
No
dog.
way. There's a person standing on the side of the road.
I guess that's not bright lights.
Oh no, it's on the left one there for you.
Yeah.
See, that's brights. Yeah.
It's kicking them off on purpose.
If you push it forward,
Push it forward, got him.
Is it an on? Well, you're on all the time now.
Okay.
I think they're an automatic.
I just learned them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're on automatic. Can't swear to it, but I think so.
Well, the learning process was that long. That's not bad. Once again, that's stuff that we've seen before. It's not somebody trying to reinvent the wheel. They put stuff you're used to in a car. So it's a very, very quick car to get used to. Is what I'm trying to say.
Did you know when you got in, you didn't have to put an on-off button to start it?
Well, I know I've got a park button here, but you're right. What are we controlling this with? You got a card like
yeah,
Tesla?
they have little proximity keys there in my pocket. So
okay.
when we got in it knew that we were just outside of it. They were essentially a key fob, and the doors unlocked, and we were able to get in. And the car was running when we got in. There's no start-stop button. With a car like this, there's no need for a start-stop button, and I think they handled that very well as well.
Well, you've heard me say this before, but for the people that listen to the video, twice I've walked away because in the Tesla or this car both, when I get within so many feet of the Tesla, it cuts on and cuts off after so many feet away. And twice I've left my wife's Subaru running in the parking lot and have to go back and get my key and cut the blame thing off. So you get spoiled.
Yep, you do.
It's just different, but it's funny how quick you got spoiled where you don't even think about a key within a few months.
Yeah, that is certainly a really great feature. Did you notice the glass roof?
Yes.
Okay.
Wasn't too hot in here, although it's not middle of the summer, so.
Now I will say, from a tall guy standpoint, you've got a fist worth above your head, but you got over here probably a half a fist.
Have you got the seat all the way down, or does it go down?
It's all the way down for me. I've got less than a fist to the glass part, and half a fist to the side part here.
Well, I was happy of mine, so I didn't move it up and down. I didn't know.
Yeah, where I'm sitting. But like you said earlier, I think if you're over 6 feet, you need to see if you fit in this car, because it really is kind of set up for a small stature person. The tall guys like us here I find it a little bit more difficult to get in it.
Well, I'd find seeing you get in here, I'd say it'd be horrible for a tall guy.
Yeah. I mean, now's a good time to actually be a smaller person for a car like this.
You know what you remind me of? Once we got you in my Corvette, and I sat in all cars like a girl now because of the Corvette, but you remind me of we had to about shoehorn you into getting in the door of the Corvette, but once you got in it, it had plenty of room.
Yeah, except I had to recline the seat for my helmet, so
yeah,
just because of the height was up there. All right, well, let's pick this up when we get parked here. The turning radius is really good in this too. I don't know if you did. You can go up a little bit more if you want. I think there's some kind of warning.
It's fine.
Okay.
All right, I've got official parking plate.
Yeah, and then you push the park button there. Okay, we are here and we are parked. We've talked about just about everything, Richard. Let's see if we can summarize this car. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. You can answer however you like. Do you hate any particular thing in this car? Does it really drive you crazy?
For my height, no. I think If you like the more expensive mid-size Toyotas, you would love this car.
Okay. And how about, do you love something in this car?
Yeah, the speedometer right there.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So, would you recommend somebody buy this car? Maybe
Absolutely, one exception. The one exception is if you make a lot of trips. It would be a great car on trip. It's a comfortable car, but the way you have to charge it on trips is a pain. It's like you say. There's no real excuse for that, but that seems to be the problem with that Charging American or whatever it is.
yeah, CCS through Electrify America. Yeah.
And if you buy a fully electric car, you'll have range anxiety, and that's normal.
Right.
But you will get used to it. You'll find that that's no big deal. It won't take you long. It's just a matter of time. So that'll be your biggest worry anytime you buy a fully electric car. It turns out this car, from what Dave's saying, and a Tesla for sure, takes very good care of you, tells you where all the places are to stop, and helps guide you into it. So that would be the only downside of this car, is if I made a lot of long trips. If I plugged it in every night or once a week at home and went to work 20 miles, it would be wonderful.
How about the fit and finish? What do you think?
It's pretty nice. See, I didn't go around and look and run my fingers between the different body parts, but just looking at it, it looks like a very well put together car.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Richard, I appreciate it. I'm glad you were able to drive it. I appreciate the candid input. And I'll pass along to everybody. I appreciate you if you would go ahead and subscribe to the channel and pass it on to your friends. Thank you for watching. I'll look for you in the next ones, and take care. See you later, Richard.
Thank you.